This is not just a coin. This is a story you can hold in your hand. The 2 rupees India coin from 1997 carries more than its face value. It carries time, history, and a silent journey that most people never stop to notice. At first glance, it may seem ordinary, something you might overlook in your pocket or toss aside without a second thought. But if you slow down and truly observe it, you begin to realize that this small piece of metal has traveled through countless hands, across cities, through markets, and into moments that shaped everyday lives. Think about the year 1997. A different time, a different pace of life. Economies were shifting, people were working, building, struggling, and celebrating. And right there, moving silently between them, was this very coin. It might have been used to buy a cup of tea on a quiet morning, passed to a shopkeeper during a busy afternoon, or handed to a child as a simple gift. Each scratch on its surface, each sign of wear, is not damage, it is evidence. Evidence that this coin has lived a life. The design itself tells its own story. The simplicity is not a weakness, it is a statement. The engravings, the year, the structure, everything was created with purpose. Back then, coins were not just manufactured objects. They were symbols of trust, of a system, of a country's identity. Holding this coin is like holding a small fragment of that identity. It represents stability, exchange, and the everyday rhythm of millions of people. But what makes this particular coin truly interesting is not just its age. It is its rarity when preserved well. Over time, most coins lose their sharpness, their shine, their clarity. They get worn down by years of use, becoming dull and common. But when a coin from 1997 remains in remarkable condition, it becomes something else entirely. It becomes desirable. Collectors begin to notice it, not as currency, but as a piece of history worth preserving. There is a certain excitement in the world of coin collecting that many people don't fully understand until they experience it. It's the thrill of discovery, the satisfaction of finding something rare, something that others have overlooked. A coin like this can sit unnoticed for years, and then suddenly, it becomes the center of attention. Not because it changed, but because someone finally recognized its value. And value, in this case, is not just about metal or denomination. It is about demand. When collectors begin searching for specific coins from specific years, especially those in better condition, the price begins to rise. It becomes a game of rarity and desire. The fewer there are in good condition, the more valuable they become. And that is exactly where this 1997 coin enters the spotlight. Imagine holding something that most people have ignored, something they may have even spent without thinking, and realizing that it could actually be worth far more than its original purpose. That realization changes everything. Suddenly, you're not just looking at a coin anymore. You're looking at an asset, a collectible, a hidden gem that has been waiting to be discovered. There is also something deeply fascinating about how objects gain value over time. Not everything becomes valuable. Most things fade away, lose relevance, disappear. But certain items, especially those connected to history, culture, and limited availability, move in the opposite direction. They become more important, more desired, more valuable as time passes. This coin belongs to that category. People who understand this world don't see coins the same way others do. They pay attention to details, the edges, the minting quality, the condition, even the smallest imperfections. Because sometimes, what looks like a flaw to one person can actually make a coin more unique and more valuable to another. It's a different way of seeing, a different way of thinking, and then there's the emotional side of it. Owning something old, something that has survived decades, creates a connection to the past. It's not just about money. It's about holding something that existed before you, something that witnessed moments you never saw. It gives a sense of continuity, of being part of a larger timeline. For many collectors, the search never really ends. There is always another coin to find, another variation to discover, another piece to add to the collection. And when they come across something like a well-preserved 1997 2 rupees coin, it immediately catches their attention because they know what it represents. They know how difficult it can be to find one in good condition. And they know that opportunities like this don't appear every day at the same time. There are countless people who still have these coins without realizing their potential. They might be sitting in old boxes, drawers, jars, or tucked away in forgotten corners, waiting, waiting for someone to notice them, to recognize their worth, to bring them back into the spotlight. That's what makes this so interesting. The idea that something so small, so common in the past, can become something rare and valuable in the present. It challenges the way we think about everyday objects. It reminds us that value is not always obvious. Sometimes it's hidden. Sometimes it takes time to reveal itself, and time is exactly what has shaped this coin. Every year that passes adds to its story. Every decade increases its significance. What was once just a simple piece of currency is now part of a much bigger narrative. A narrative of history, rarity, and growing demand. If you take a moment to truly appreciate it, you'll see that this coin is more than just metal. It is a witness to transactions, to conversations, to moments that came and went. It has been part of lives, even if only for a brief moment at a time. And now, it stands here, carrying all of that with it. There is also a certain unpredictability in collectibles that makes them even more exciting. Prices can rise, demand can increase, and suddenly something that seemed insignificant becomes highly sought after. This unpredictability is part of the appeal. It keeps people searching, observing, learning. And for those who are paying attention right now, this coin represents exactly that kind of opportunity. An opportunity that doesn't come with loud announcements or obvious signs. It comes quietly, disguised as something ordinary. But once you understand what you're looking at, it becomes impossible to ignore. The journey of this coin didn't start with collectors. It started as currency, as something meant to be used and circulated. But over time, its purpose evolved. It transitioned from being a tool of exchange to being a collectible item. And that transition is what gives it its unique position today. There is a certain respect that comes with preserving items like this, keeping them safe, maintaining their condition, recognizing their importance. Because once something like this is lost or damaged, it cannot be replaced easily. Each coin has its own story, its own journey, its own identity. That is why collectors are willing to invest time, effort, and money into acquiring such pieces. They understand that they are not just buying an object, they are acquiring a piece of history. A piece that will continue to gain meaning as time goes on. And when something carries both historical significance and growing demand, its value naturally increases. Not overnight, not instantly, but steadily, gradually, until one day, it reaches a point where it is no longer seen as small or insignificant. That is the moment where everything changes, because at that point, the coin is no longer judged by its original value. It is judged by its rarity, its condition, its story, and the desire it creates among collectors. And when all of these factors come together, the result can be surprising, very surprising. What you are looking at is not just a coin from 1997. It is a survivor. It has made it through years of circulation, through changing times, through countless exchanges. And it is still here, still carrying its identity, still holding its place in history. Not many objects can say that. And that is exactly why it stands out today, why it catches attention, why it sparks interest among those who understand its significance. Because in a world where most things are temporary, something that lasts becomes valuable, something that endures becomes rare, and something that is both rare and desired becomes powerful. The next time you see a coin like this, don't rush past it. Don't ignore it. Take a moment to look at it, to think about where it has been, what it represents, and what it could be worth. Because sometimes, the smallest things carry the greatest potential. Sometimes, what looks ordinary is actually extraordinary. And sometimes, a simple 2 rupees coin from 1997 can turn out to be far more than anyone ever expected. It can become a symbol of hidden value, a reminder that opportunities are often right in front of us, waiting to be recognized. And for those who truly understand what they are looking at, it becomes clear that this is not just about a coin. It is about possibility. It is about timing. It is about seeing value where others see none. And right now, that value stands at $100,000.